Welcome back. Times Now has spoken to a survivor who escaped the jaws of death at the Supernova Music Festival. He revealed his harrowing ordeal of how terrorists not only killed his friends but also one of his family members.
Viewers, it's been over a week since we saw the massacre at the Supernova Music Festival in Israel. And even now, we can hear the cries and also many stories emerging from the rubble at the music festival. And joining us live on this broadcast is Mr. Gal Bukshpan, who is a survivor from the music festival. Firstly, Mr. Bukshpan, I just want to ask you about how this entire music festival turned into one of the deadliest terror attacks that Israel has faced in decades. What were your first thoughts when you saw the missiles flying towards Israel?
So first of all, I have just to say that I love India. I love your culture. I love the people. I love the food. I always wanted to visit India, and I'm happy I could share some of my thoughts and the things that happened in Israel with the Indian people. Regarding the party, it was around 6:30 in the morning. We were dancing, raving, and we saw, around 200 missiles just coming in. Now, the sad thing I'm going to say now is I wasn't surprised or afraid too much, because this is pretty usual. It was massive, but still, the fear wasn't there yet.
Right. And like you've said us that, in Israel that you're used to seeing missiles and sirens. When did you first realize that the festival was under attack?
So we stayed around an hour until 7:30. We were packing our stuff, and we decided to stay a little bit more. And I always say the fate of the people was decided at that moment, because if you chose to drive out of the party as the first ones to get out, you probably died on the road. And if you decided to stay last, you probably got murdered, raped, kidnapped to Gaza. So we understood we were under attack only around 8 in the morning. We were on the way out after we waited in the parking lot. And this is when we started to hear some rumors about shooting. We heard shooting, but we heard about people who are getting hurt, just injured, getting shot. And then I think the chaos and fear had risen.
Also, we've seen visuals of people running amok in the desert area. So, and you have also filmed one of those videos. So what was the scene like? Could you describe the moment?
Yes, we were in the car. We just saw, we were hearing bombs, and guns and explosions. And we just see around 1,000 people, I know 600 to 1,000 people just running amok, like in the movies, like you see a zombie attacking a village and everybody's running. We get out of the car and we just run for around 20 minutes without looking back. You can see people fall, you can hear the bullets coming in, and we're just running for our lives.
And Mr. Bukshpan, we've had reports of entire families being taken hostage, women raped, children kidnapped, and now we're learning truly horrific reports of beheading. Tell us what you witnessed firsthand.
So first of all, around 7 in the morning, half an hour after the attack, we called someone from a kibbutz next to us, Kibbutz Be'eri, and we asked him to come to his shelter and hide from the missiles. He told us, look, there is a lot of problems here. You should drive to the center, to Tel Aviv. This guy and 9 of his family are kidnapped in Gaza right now. I've seen videos of people beheading. I've seen bodies. I have stories of friends who saw, just bodies burnt. And we all have heard about, the beheadings, and those scenes are real. You can see them in videos. We saw the people who take the corpses to the cemetery, and they were talking about the hard scenes they've seen. They cried, and in our TV, we saw those people cry, so we can understand how horrible and horrific these scenes were.
Right, those stories are really horrific to say the least. But when you saw those hang gliders descend from the skies, what was your first reaction?
So, and you have to understand, in the Supernova Festival, there were no gliders. The video, when you see people party, there was another party, underground party of around 100 people who were pretty close to us. And that is the video when you see people dance in the glider above them. From what I know, this small party, everyone died. Everyone died. There was no one survival from that party.
Okay, so the terrorists were closing in on you. Did you hear them say or speak anything?
We heard them speak about, about the pretty woman Israelis have. We saw them just, I don't know how to tell the people, but we saw them shoot corpses and explode their heads and things. Really, it's just horrible. It's just, you can't believe this is humanity in 2020. Those are scenes, I think, in my head and other Israelis, it won't get out.
Right now, how did you escape? Tell us about your escape. We have learned that you stayed around the festival venue for some time and then decided to leave. How important was the timing of your escape?
Everything. I truly believe in fate, and I believe in this part of the party. Like I said before, the ones who left first died on the roads, where terrorists just, captured the roads and ambushed cars. And the ones who stayed last were the ones who, suffered the most horrible deaths and kidnaps in the world. So the fate was not even individual. It's with your friends. You had to choose with your friends, when do we want to leave, when do we want to stay. And we decided to leave after an hour. And there was around one route to the landscape, east into Israel. We decided this is the best option for us, because we see everything locked around. And we just, like in the videos, we just ran for 15 kilometers, and we hid every time, and we're hearing the bombs. And I'm seeing, while I'm walking, I can see Israel is burning. I can see the cities, the road, and the kibbutzes, and everything just, burnt.
Did you get in touch with your family when you were trying to escape? What was that conversation? What was that conversation that you had with your family back home?
So my girlfriend texted me around 6:40. So like 10 minutes after the missiles, she was like, "Hey, I'm awake in Tel Aviv. What is going on?" And I'm like, "Go to the shelter. I'm okay. I'll get out of here." And she's the one who sent me photos of terrorists in Israel. I didn't know until then. We thought it's just missiles. So I was updating while I was running in the first an hour and a half, 2 hours. But then I didn't have battery. And that's what a lot of happened. They didn't have battery to update, and they were just missing. So my family knew I'm in the area. They knew every hour I would give an update from someone's phone. But I had my sister's husband was there as well, and he was shocked. So I think the most of the pressure just came into him, like what is going on with him. And while I was running away, I thought about him, because I knew the people who stayed a minute after I left probably died, murdered, slaughtered, whatever we want to call it.
Well, Mr. Bukshpan, that's really unfortunate, and we all know that Israel is not a stranger to violent attacks, but this is unprecedented. How do you think this will change Israel?
I was a combat soldier for Israel for 3 years. And I do know India and Israel are close in defensive and offensive ways. I think this is just the most, per population, this is just the most horrible terrorist attack in the world. It's like Pearl Harbor with ISIS together. I think this will change the Middle East. I think we have to change the Middle East. And we all know, not all the Palestinians are bad, but there are a lot in them that do want to eliminate Israel. We cannot live in this country if we have so many enemies around us. And I think India knows that, the world knows that. I think if you think of, like you're an Israeli, you would think that as well.
Right now, before we conclude, what is your message to the people of Israel and also the people who are in Gaza?
For Israel, first of all, we will win. There has to be change. We can't stop until there's a change in our lives. We can't live with terrorist attacks, which become normal, because we know how those missiles have become normal in this country. That is unacceptable. For Gaza, we always talk in Israel. It's those Palestinians. They can resist. There was resistance in every country in the world. When there is bad, there's resistance. In Gaza, there isn't. There isn't. I know they can lose their lives, but we need the good people of Gaza, the Palestinians who think there can be peace here. They need to resist. Without them, it will be hard to change the reality for those people.
Right, many thanks for joining us, Mr. Gal Bukshpan. Well, there you heard it, viewers. That was Mr. Bukshpan narrating his ordeal after escaping the jaws of death in one of Israel's biggest supernova parties. And many thanks for joining us, and thank you for sharing your story with the people of India
Thank you,
and
love
the world.
India. Thank you.